Hi guys, Cameron from the Mighty Blues. This is my instant match reaction. Fulham 2, Everton 0. What an absolutely shocking performance and a shocking result that was. Possibly our worst performance of the season. We couldn't get near a relegated Fulham for the entire game. Pretty much embarrassing is one of the words I'd use to describe that. Listen, we said in the game preview, and I think Evertonians have said throughout the week, let's not get too ahead of ourselves. We know it's Fulham, but we understand what Everton can do, and the fact that it wouldn't be totally out the realms of possibility for us to go and get beat today after, 3 fantastic results in the previous 3 weeks, and that's exactly what happened. We couldn't get near Fulham from the first minute to the last. Alexander Mitrovic put in a performance quite similar to the one Dominic Calvert-Lewin put in last week against Arsenal. He didn't score a goal, but he was an absolute pain in the arse from minute 1 to minute 90, and Phil Jagielka and Kurt Zouma just couldn't deal with them at all. I mean, we were slow off the ball, we were slow to react to every single second ball, and on the ball we weren't good enough at all. We were giving it away at every single time we got the ball, we'd give it away, and we were just shocking all game. And listen, it's easy to sit here and say, oh, it was a poor performance, it was a one-off, but I don't know how it can be so different. I don't know how the game plan can be so different from Marco Silva and the boys. We went out and we gave 110% last week, and we absolutely battered a decent Arsenal side who were fighting for the top 6 and who were beating, world-class teams in Europe. And we've come here today, we're playing a team that have already been relegated from the Premier League, very clearly aren't that good at football, and we just didn't bother turning up again, and we made them look like a team that are fighting for the top 7, and we looked like the team that had been relegated. No heart, no fight, no passion, and I fear that we'd do this. And I said this in the game preview, and I said, I don't want us to go out and think this is going to be a walk in the park. They've already been relegated, they're not that good, this is going to be an easy win. And I think that was the mentality of the players. I think we strolled on the pitch and we thought that it was going to be an easy afternoon and an easy day at the office, and every time we got the ball, Fulham were first to every single second ball. They were chasing us down, they were putting pressure on us, and that's exactly what Everton should have been doing. We've seen a couple of performances in the last 2 weeks from Gylfi Sigurdsson, constantly pressing, constantly getting on the toes of opposition players, and he didn't do that today. It was a very lazy performance for me from the entire Everton squad, and I think both goals show that. Ryan Babel runs from pretty much the halfway line and people are jogging back. Gomez is jogging back to try and catch him. He literally, there's 3 players and Ryan Babel, and he just waltzes through them all and puts the ball in the back of the net. It's not good enough whatsoever. And like I said, it is Everton, isn't it? That is Everton. That is the definition of Everton. That go and smash 2 top 6 sides in the previous weeks, absolutely batter a side that are in and around us, and then a team that very clearly, aren't on our level and very clearly aren't, a good enough Premier League team to stay in this league, just go and tear us apart like that. I don't know what to say. It was shocking. It was an absolutely shocking performance. I don't think there was one player that you could say, okay, you done yourself a little bit of justice there. Dominic Calvert-Lewin didn't really get anywhere near the ball. The 2 wingers didn't do much in the game. Like I said, the midfield, Zizaganage giving the ball away far too often. Andre Gomez, I think it was a lazy performance by him to his, from his not sacking Ryan Babel back for the second goal to his last-ditch absolute stand in the ankle in the last minute, which could have seen him being sent off and probably should have seen him being sent off. And I know there's a lot of fans that'll sit here now and say, oh, Phil Jagielka's not good enough. Phil Jagielka needs to leave the club. He's very clearly, he's not got it anymore. But for me, the entire back four was shocking today. Seamus Coleman had a shocker. Kurt Zouma didn't really know where he was, and Luca Dean didn't have his best game either. He was sloppy on the ball, and I think what we seen today was a side that went onto a football pitch and just lost concentration in the game and lost interest in the game because we thought we'd win it. And Fulham turned up, and like we feared before the game, they turned up with nothing to play for at all, only to enjoy the game of football, and that's exactly what they done. They went out there, they enjoyed themselves, and they got a win. And the commentators are saying at the end of the game, if only Fulham can perform like that during the rest of the season, well, that's the point. They had no pressure on them today, and Marco Silva and the boys should have knew that. We should have been clever enough to go into that game thinking these have got no pressure on them, so the only way these are going to play, the only way Scott Parker is going to tell these to play is just enjoy the game of football. There's no pressure at all. They've gone down. They'll be playing in the Championship next season. It's one of the last Premier League games they'll play, certainly one of the last Premier League games they'll play at Craven Cottage for quite some time. So Scott Parker's team talk will have literally been, go out there and enjoy yourself, and we'll see what happens. We're playing a decent side who are fighting for the top 7, so no pressure at all. Go out there and enjoy yourself. Our team talk should have been, we perform exactly like we did against Arsenal, we perform exactly like we did against Chelsea. We go out there, we don't underestimate Fulham, we create 17 chances in the first half and we're 2-0 up, and then we sit back. But we didn't. We went out there and we were lackadaisical and we were really, really lazy. That's the one word that described that performance, an absolute lazy performance from the entire squad. And I think the substitutions, again, They weren't fantastic, but did we expect anyone to change the game? Did we expect anyone to come on and change the game? I didn't expect Cenk Tosun to change the game. I don't think he's good enough. I didn't expect Theo Walcott to change the game. I don't think he's good enough, and might be controversial, but I don't think Ademola Lookman's good enough to come on and change a game either. But for me, the entire side today was off, and it really was, quite an embarrassing performance, considering, not just the result, considering where Fulham are in the league and the fact that, they have been relegated. They turned us round there and they made us look like the team that are getting relegated, and they look like the team that are fighting for the Europa League. But what can you say? It's Everton, isn't it? We all sat here before the game and we all said, when people were saying, oh, easy win on paper, 4-0, they're awful, go and perform exactly like we did. We all sat here and went, no, don't be sure about it. Do not be sure about it. Not necessarily even don't write Fulham off, but, don't rely on Everton to go out there and batter a team that we should be battering on paper, because that's not how Everton work. Everton work in the way that we beat teams that we probably shouldn't beat, and then we go out there and we put in performances like that today, and that's just the life of being an Evertonian, and that's why I'm not overly angry, that's why I'm not overly upset, because you'd expect it, and from the first 5 minutes of that game you could see something was off. We weren't quite on the ball, we weren't pressuring the play as much as we used to, we weren't comfortable on the ball. And you could see it from a mile off coming, and you could see in the first half he was shocking, and you knew as soon as that final whistle blew for the first half, if we carry on playing like that, we're going to be hurt, and that's exactly what happened, and we were punished. That's it. We were shocking again. We've literally just Evertoned it against one of the worst teams in the league, but do we expect any less at the minute from a team like Everton who are constantly doing that year in after year out, doing that against teams like Fulham? So I don't know. Leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. Fulham 2, Everton 0, an absolutely shocking, embarrassing and lazy performance by Marco Silva's men. And yeah, our Wolves have been beaten as well, so I suppose, it's a negative, because if we'd have won the game, it'd give us an advantage on Wolves, but I don't know, is it maybe a positive, because we've not really lost out on anything, but we're going to have to improve next week against Manchester United, because that was absolutely shocking today. Thanks for watching.